Hello YouTubers, and today I'm going to talk to you about a fantastic new app. Now, up until a certain point it used to be that if you wanted to capture monsters in the real world with dubious fictional backstories, you had to use Tinder. Now there's a new way, Pokemon Go. Right, so before I start, I've got a confession to make. I haven't actually played any more than about half an hour of a Pokemon game since the original Game Boy ones came out. But I got this Pokemon Go, and the premise of it is actually quite intriguing. So to start off, does it basically entail? Well, it's an augmented reality game. For those of you who don't know, and you go around wherever you live or where you work or wherever you happen to be. It works with Google Maps, and you capture sort of superimposed Pokemon in the real world, and then you can go to places which are what do you call them, Pokemon gyms, and do all the stuff you can normally do. It's basically like the Game Boy Pokemon games, only you're doing it while walking around. Fantastic premise. I'm actually amazed it took them this long to come up with it. But there's been a lot of publicity surrounding the game. It hasn't actually come out officially in the UK yet. I've got hold of an early copy by getting it from the States on my phone and being able to use it that way, because it actually does work. Even though it hasn't been released here yet, it does work in Britain. But there's been quite a bit of, and I've noticed this certainly with the TV news, there's been quite a lot of negative stuff going on, a lot of negative things being said about the game. A lot of it is down to the users. I mean, you can go on any internet forum and things like that, and every single person who uses this game, it's the same two things keep coming up. The battery life on my phone, I've got a massive phone bill in for the 4G I've been using, etc, etc, etc. And now, yeah, that's obviously going to be an issue. But is that an issue with the Pokemon app? No, it's not. That's an issue with every single app you've probably got on your phone. Every single one of them drains the battery. Every single one of them uses up your 4G, like you know, like you've left Netflix running or something. I mean, they all do it. That's not unique to the game. In the mainstream media, there's been a lot of talk about there was a guy that was supposedly caused an accident because he was driving while collecting Pokemon. There was people have hit trees and lampposts while collecting Pokemon. There was one kid that fell off his skateboard, and I think he broke his elbow or his ankle or something like that while playing Pokemon. And you sort of feel like going, well, again, that's not the app's fault. That's Charles Darwin's fault. Because you're still in the gene pool. You're an idiot. If you drive while using your phone to do anything, that's not the app's fault. That's you, because you're a moron. You know, likewise, if you're looking at your phone and you hit a tree, it don't matter what you were doing. You could be texting. You know, it doesn't matter. You're the idiot that walked into a tree because you're a moron. So again, is that the game's fault? No. But on the mainstream media, so especially here, before the games come out, that seems to be the general sort of theme they're going for. You know, it's like, what can we blame people's stupidity on now? But what I want to talk about is I think, and you know, there's lots of things we mentioned about this, but I think it's an overall positive experience. And I'll tell you for why. I mean, I've had the game now, and like I say, I'm not the world's best Pokemon player by a long chalk. I'm not even at level 5 yet, so that tells you that. But no, just in my town, and I live in a reasonably sized town, and I've lived here for the best part of 20 years. Now, there are places within a 5-minute walk of me that I've never really seen or noticed or anything like that. You know, like maybe there's a building with a statue that I've never noticed before, or a plaque or something. Do you know what I mean? There's something of significance. There's streets I've never been down that are, you know, a stone's throw away from my house. Never been down them, never had a reason to. Now, perhaps I do. I don't know. I just find that sort of thing quite interesting. Furthermore, some of these places might be nice public spaces that I've never been to, like little greens here and there, or a park or something like that. You know, just stuff that in the daily grind of wandering about in your daily life, you never really stop to be in any of these places for any length of time. But the main thing I want to focus on, which I think is absolutely fantastic, is the use of getting people just walking around in the real world as part of a gameplay mechanic. That is absolutely brilliant. It may be a first, I don't know. I've certainly never seen it before, but just to get people walking around, that's the game. The game is to walk around in the real world. Now, why is this good? Well, nobody can deny, or it's very difficult for people to deny, that certainly in this country, and in most places in the Western world, there is an ongoing crisis with obesity. I mean, I'm hardly Mr. Skinny. I live a reasonably sedentary lifestyle. But there is an ongoing obesity crisis. Now, it is very difficult to get an entire generation of people out walking. Now, can this game achieve it? Probably not, but every little helps. I think with all the things that Nintendo have brought out over the years, to try and keep you fit, you know, they've got their movement controllers, they've got their Wii Fit balance board, they've even got quite a rare peripheral, which is an exercise bike and a game that plays on the Wii. Now, wouldn't it be amazing if all these things that they'd been trying to do for years in order to keep us fit, wouldn't it be amazing if this free game, alright, I know it's microtransaction funded, but you know, you put the legwork in, pardon the pun, and you don't need to use microtransactions. Wouldn't it be amazing if this free game was finally the thing that got an entire generation of people walking about, even if it's a mile a day? You know, just walking about, you know, don't get your mum and dad to come and pick you up. Walk home. Maybe you'll catch Pikachu on the way. You know, it's fantastic. I think it's an absolutely brilliant idea, and I don't think that people can talk up enough the benefits of people doing that. Now, again, you know, it depends on how much it's going to affect anything. I mean, you know, the 18 stone fella working in your chip shop, the Saturday boy, the big 16-year-old, he's not going to be fitting into his size 30 jeans in a week's time. But who knows what might happen? You know, he picks this game up, he plays it. Maybe he walks 2 miles a day. Maybe he walks 4 miles a day. Maybe he doesn't notice he's walking 4 miles a day because he's actually having fun. You know, maybe he plays Pokemon with a few new people, makes some new friends. I don't know. But before everyone starts focusing on the negative of something, and believe me, if you actually look at the media slant on this, everything seems to come across as a negative, and I just don't think is very fair. As to how long-term fun the game is, well, I don't know. I haven't had it very long, and I haven't used it very much, to be honest, because it's been raining. One of the drawbacks, you can't really use this game if it's raining because your screen gets wet. Look at it this way. If you're a parent watching this and you're thinking about, you know, what to get your kid for Christmas or for their birthday coming up, get them Pokemon credit. It's going to work out much better for their overall health and fitness in the long run than the Fitbit you were looking at buying them, you know, that comes with the app where they can do a line graph of their pedometer steps taken that day that they can follow for a month. I mean, they're obviously going to have more fun with this. I just think, you know, if it may make no difference at all, but I think it's going to make at least a small difference, and it might actually change the way that people think about walking and exercise and things like that. And who knows, they might go walking down a canal or something like that, where they have to walk for 2 miles, you know, before they get to anywhere where they can buy sweets or cakes or whatever it is. No. It may make, like I say, may make a lot of difference, may make none. But I think avoid the negative publicity. Don't fall for the stuff that the idiots are doing, you know, walking into trees and things like that. If you've got a bit of savvy about you, you're not going to do that, because in reality that's not really how the game works. You don't follow the game through a camera the whole time. And yeah, just enjoy it. Now, I'm going to finish up here because I'm going to go and get my neighbour to move his pickup truck, because I'm convinced there's a Mewtwo that's living under there and I don't know how else to move the truck. So I'll go and do that, and I'll see you next time.